disappointed. We have an empty engine bay. But let's see. Use the damn gun light. Ah, look at that shit. Multitasking. Look at that. Use the gun for a light. Anyway, I didn't forget that I needed to finish the ABS lines, or not the non-ABS anymore. Yeah, I came out here and did that right quick because definitely want to do that before putting the fucking engine in the bay and having it all, have the intake manifold blocking and everything. Alright, so I've been harping about this for the longest time, putting the harness on. Alright, so now you can see what I'm talking about when I mentioned like folding over. It's probably better if I did this in the daylight, but most of you motherfuckers aren't even watching this anyway, so no big deal. Alright, so see? Yeah, so when I see people bending over and unplugging everything and leaving it on the car, and then thinking about the fact that you got to reach underneath the intake manifold to get a lot of these fucking plugs and a lot of these buttons. Like, why? Look at that. The entire engine harness is mounted to the engine right now, and you can't even really tell. It's not in the way. All right, so that's that side of the harness, right? And then here's this side of the harness, right? So you literally just take it, fold it over, grab this side, fold it over, and it has absolutely no issues with getting in the way. But in the meantime, let's see if we can get some light. In the meantime, though, all this shit down here and on the back stays plugged in. So that way, when you go to take shit out, you ain't gotta go on a fucking mission. It's not complicated. Easiest way to do it. So the combination of fucking fight nights for the rest of the fucking year seems like it getting dark at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and me wanting to have a little bit of personal time during the fucking weekend is really seeming to be setting me back on this fucking project, man. You know, the winter time just fucking sucks no matter where you're at in this country, even if it's not the cold weather. As far as taking a closer look at the ABS, or at the ABS delete, I guess the prop valve setup and whatnot, I'll take a look at it, I guess, to officially end that ABS three-parter I was doing. It really is, it is pretty straightforward, not really complicated to do. I guess it's, you know, it would take more time to do if I were really trying to do the lines properly, like really organized, but I'm going for function over form at this point. You know, this car is ugly, the swap is ugly at this point, everything is dirty and worn and whatever, and it's I guess to be expected. I was rewatching an old video from 2016 in September, and I had the car already parked the shell, so I know it was around that summer of that year that I got that fucking shell, and we're going into 2019, and I haven't got the car running ever. So at this point, you know, I'm more focused on getting the car to run than anything else. There's always a chance that I'll keep this fucking shell long term. If that is the case, you know, I would like to. Then maybe I'll see about, you know, cleaning it up better. But that's, I don't know, that's neither here nor there, I guess. I'll get to that fucking, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Yeah, so I'll go back out in the daylight, pop the hood, and give it a once over. The only thing that's left for me to actually do is to, when I, you know, jack it up the front, take the wheels off, and put the two brake fittings from the fucking calipers on, and then it'll be complete. But at that point, you really don't need instructions on that. It's pretty simple and straightforward. You cut the fucking line. I'm gonna cut the line short because I made sure to have a lot of extra, just so that way I could bend it properly in the wheel well, and then mount it up. As far as the engine swap, again, probably I'll look at that again in the daylight, and I might film the actual drop-in. I don't know. There's no guarantee I'm gonna do that, but I'll show it in the daylight so you can see exactly in better detail. But it really is easy. You just leave all of the fucking plugs plugged in the back of the engine, on the side of the engine, everywhere you can plug it in. and then you just fold over the pigtails from the end of the harness, and it just wraps over. And when you're taking it off the car, you don't have to worry about bending over and reaching under the intake manifold and all that shit. You just unplug the 3 major points on each side and tuck it over, and then pull out the swap, and then you can take off the rest of it if you need to. And the same thing with dropping it in. Well, like it's the same thing like with the ABS, or with the me mounting the prop valve and the lines to the prop valve. I didn't put the engine swap in the car today. I was gonna do it. I was like, fuck it. It's only 2 lines. It's only 2 lines. So why not just drop it in and I'll just plug in those 2 lines later? Well, it turned out to be a bit of a pain in the ass, and I had full, complete, access to it. Even with me sitting right in front of it, and having all the space in the world, it was still a little bit of a bitch for me to put in. Now, if I would have put the fucking engine in place and had to work around the intake manifold, it would have been a goddamn nightmare. So it's the same thing with, we're working on the harness. Like, why would you make it harder for yourself? So that is the reason why I procrastinated putting the swap in place until I got the harness mounted. And honestly, it doesn't really take much time to mount the harness on. All these wires have been plugged up for years and years and years. Even in between swaps, it's going to go plug back into the same place. So the harness has it has memory. So even though there's a couple of plugs that are kind of identical and they can plug into multiple places, it's easy to see where they go, because one has more reach to get to one spot than another one does, and you can just kind of lay it in place and see where it goes. You can mount up the injectors and the alternator, and then just follow it from there. And if you do plug one into the wrong spot, you'll get a check engine light. You read the code, and you know where it is that you have to switch around. So that's not really a big deal. So now the harness is in place, the brake lines in the engine bay are all cleaned up and ready to go. I have a battery, though I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to fucking charge it, but I have one, and I'm gonna so the only thing is to do is pick it up and put it in the car, then charge the battery, and I could turn this thing on. Now I still need to swap out the fuel pump and all that shit, but I don't have to do that to start the car. I could always just start it and run it at idle. That's all I really care about at this point. So as long as this is taking as slow as it seems to be going, we're getting there. I always say that maybe I'm going to do work during the week, and then I wind up not doing it and waiting until the weekend again. I don't know what I'm going to do. What I would like to see, my weight cutting week, I think I got stuck again, but that's because I was eating a lot of junk food. I was eating a lot of fast food last week. I think like 3 or 4 days out of the week I ate fast food. So my weight didn't drop dramatically like it has been, or like it did the week before. I think I only lost 1 pound. I got to 213. So at this point, I think that my whole point was getting under where I needed to be at to pass tape for, if I go back to re-enlist. And I can do that comfortably now with not a problem. So maybe this week during the weekdays I'll skip a run and just go drop it in, because I'm pretty confident I can get the engine in place in 30 or 40 minutes. It's just getting up, getting dressed, getting the drive to go outside and do it is going to be the biggest obstacle out of everything. But I'll just have to see. We'll have to wait and see what happens. If I do manage to get the swap in place this week, then during the weekend it'll just be the rest of the plug-ins and seeing about getting the axles in or whatnot and starting it up and getting fluids in it. There is one issue that's become a new concern of mine. I was digging out my T-bracket, and I think the T-bracket I have might be EK. I think it might be an EKB series T-bracket, so that means I'm going to have to find an EG DC one to get this in there. But again, it's not going to stop me from actually starting the car, so we'll see where we get. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and peace.